Welcome to Shooting the Shit with Vicki. It's Monday, November 17th. For a couple of more hours. Oh boy, am I ish. And what's this with the weird hair? I've had a rough getting ready today, and I will explain why as I wipe my itchy chin. Oh, I'm gonna have to do something about that. I have to get hairspray and fix this because it's gonna drive me crazy. It's been a hell of a few days, and we've got a lot to talk about. If anybody is still gonna come, and I don't blame you. If it's just me and me, oh, somebody's coming. Somebody's here. But I wouldn't blame you guys if you abandoned me today, because this is crazy. That I think this is a new ridiculous time. That's better, right? Better or worse? Who else does their hair while they're on the air? Who would dare? Because I know you guys forgive me these things. All right. Well, we'll do that for now. What was that? We'll do that for now. Hi, Dot. Oh, yeah. God-ish. You gonna scold me, Dot? Don't scold me. How much are you paying for this? For fun and for free. That's what we do it. The kind people that give me stars are very, very generous, and it's very, very appreciated. I'm just going to do my whole hair while we're on the air. You've waited for me so long already. Oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing. Hi, Carol. There's a lot to talk about, and I'm exhausted already. Oh, no, I don't like the way that looks. Come on. Come on. See, now I'm obsessed. You know why? Because I have one contact in, so I can actually see what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, I mean, it's not good, but we're gonna have to live with it. So, okay, so there's three of us. I had Craig fix this shirt for me because it was all voluminous in here, so he tailored it so that it's better, right? It's still a big, Free People makes things so oversized, but I think I don't know if he cut the sleeves, but he definitely trimmed that out because it used to come out to here. And so now I can kind of, no stars. Well, thank you for being willing. So I've got this thing going on with scarves, you know, a woman of a certain age, my ascot. Oh boy, I'm laughing, but it's been a hell of a ride. Okay, so I don't even know where to begin. And I even forgot to put my jewels. I forgot to put my rings on. I have my one ring, but I didn't put my other rings on. You'd never know I was rushing, would you? Oh my God, I've had such a time. And so, yeah, I think everybody's going to understand what's going on. I'm woe to start talking about it because there's only a few of us in here, and I don't want to start the whole thing all over again. Hang on, I'm going to put my purse back because I'm OCD about things being in their place, and that wasn't in its place, and it would drive me crazy. Wow, people aren't showing up. I don't know if people got the notification or if they're just on to other things, figuring that I was bailing. But I don't know. I thought hi, Marge. I thought my little tease, my daily, would wet some whistles as to what the hell was going on. Dropped a few bombs on there. So let's see. All right, I'm just gonna, even though there's just a few of us. Ooh, look at this. I even have pockets. I didn't realize I had pockets. And then I can put a tissue in it, and then I can put them in the laundry, and then it'll make a mess. Somebody must have had gum in something, because I did laundry and there's gum on the bottom of my socks. That's not a good thing. It's been a hell of a week. Okay, so last Monday when we were together, I can't see who's here, so say hi to me. I know Marge is here. I know Dot's here. Hi, Jim. I know Carol's here. Hi, Pia. No stars. And I made sure that the box was checked before I went live, so I don't know what's going on with that. It's probably that they're either on your laptop or on your phone and not on the other one, and I don't know which is which, but I think they're usually on the phone, right? So anyway, last week when we were chatting, I told you guys that I had been in a meeting and somebody mentioned, hi Esther, that if you have a runny nose and it's on one side, you better go to the doctor because it can be cancer of the meninges. And I got all freaked out because the beloved Valerie Harper had that cancer and it took her. And I mean, any kind of cancer is terrifying. But anyway, I had a drippy nose and it had been on one side, primarily when I thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, I drip more on the left. And all of a sudden I would just be standing, around, and all of a sudden my nose would start to run for no reason. I didn't have a cold. I'm like, what the hell is this? So, and I take an Allegra every morning because I'm allergic to I've been allergic to dyes and chemicals and perfumes, and you have stars. Well, that's on your laptop. Thank you, Esther. It's good to know. Stars on the laptop today. Hi, Jan. You're not giving me any, but you have them. No, I'm kidding. So anyway, I appreciate you letting me know. Snuffy, there's snars on the laptop. So anyway, no. Don't give me stars, Snuffy. Although I want a big star for yesterday, and we'll talk about that. So, okay. So, that was pretty freaky. So it was either Monday or Tuesday. Monday I had a really crazy day. So Tuesday I called my ear, nose, and throat to make an appointment to find out what was going on. I think I was too afraid on Monday to make the call. But I made the call, and it turned out it was my ear, nose, and throat's last day before her maternity leave. No, I've been going to her for years. I've taken Samantha to her. I found her on Yelp. I needed an ENT, and I went on Yelp, and she had like 500 five-star reviews. I'd never seen anything like it, and she earned them all. Not on your laptop or phone. Wow. Okay. I guess they decide who can give and who can't. They play God. Facebook plays God, don't they? They do. Meta. I should call it meta. So in any case, so now I have to go to a different ENT. So I'm looking on Yelp to find a new ENT, and this guy comes up, Alan Cohen, and I thought he has the best ENTs in LA, and he's right there at the top. And I thought, well, let me call Snuffy's concierge doctor, Dr. Shamsi, and find out who he'd recommend. And he says, oh, go to Alan Cohen. That's who Snuffy goes to. And I was like, well, I'm just looking at it. So I call Alan Cohen, and it just so happened that he had a cancellation for, when did I go to him? I don't know. I went to him Thursday or Friday. I think I went to him on Thursday. Okay, so now I was going to wait till Thursday to find out what was going on with this, and I was really kind of terrified. Okay, I had gone for my mammogram the week before, and they don't give you the results right away, and you got to wait, and I kept checking in online, and nothing's coming up. I had the mammogram on Tuesday. Nothing's up Wednesday, nothing's up Thursday. She said it would take 3 or 4 days. Oh, somebody sent stars. Thank you, Esther. And I'm going, and there's no report on there. And I go into a 12-step meeting on last Friday. First, I go see Alan Cohen on Thursday, and I tell him what I'm afraid of, and I tell him what's going on. He said, no, you do not have that. He said, you'd have all kinds of, do you have double vision? And I was too afraid to tell him that occasionally, like if I'm laying down and all of a sudden I look at the TV, I'm trying to remember when it happens. All of a sudden I'll see two and then I have to blink, but it's like just for a split second when I'm like picking my head up or whatever. Then he said, do you have headaches? And I was like, no, I've gotten a couple of migraines, but no, I don't have ongoing headaches. And then for like 2 weeks, 2 days after that, I did. He said, and do you nosebleeds, and are you throwing up and nauseous? And I said, no, I'm not, but I have been queasy on and off for, some days. He said, no, 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 no. He said, let me look and see what's going on up there. And so he did like a serious scope up my nose, like a long black, very skinny thing. He said, this isn't gonna hurt, it's just gonna feel uncomfortable. Wrong, it hurt. And he went all the way up, he said, you are all inflamed. This is allergies. He said, I have the same thing. And I said, oh, by the way, my ears have been clogging up for the last year, on and off, for like no reason. And I told my last ear, nose, and throat about it. And she prescribed Flonase once a day. And she said, and if it doesn't go away, I'll have to do like this test. And I guess she was going to do what he did, was she didn't want to put me through the whole thing that he did, because it's not comfortable unless I needed to. So she just prescribed the Flonase twice a day. And I did it for like a week, and then I stopped. I thought, I don't need this. Well, meanwhile, he said, okay, I said, I take an Allegra every day. He said, you got to keep taking the Allegra every morning, and you got to do Flonase, 1 shot, each nostril pointed that way, every morning. And he said, I do the double I said, am I going to do this for the rest of my life? And he said, yeah. I said, well, is it worth testing to see what I'm allergic to? And he said, no, because the treatment's going to be the same. You just do it. Okay, I started doing the Flonase in addition to my Allegra on Friday. Today is Monday. I have had no stopped up ears. I have had no runny nose. Boom, done, gone. No cancer of the meninges. Poo poo, thank God. I mean, so it's, okay. So that was, that happened on Thursday. Now Friday I'm in a 12-step meeting early in the morning, 9 o'clock, and I get the not the faded, but the dreaded text from Radnet. Please call about your appointment on Tuesday. Like, oh my God, oh my God. So I call, because it turns out the Jim and Eleanor Breast Center is now a Radnet. It's now no longer this privately thing. It's now this one cog in a big machine. And yes, Dot, that was good news. And I call, and I'm on hold, for like almost 30 minutes, and I'm having a nervous breakdown. Now, I've gotten that call before, that note before to call them, and it turned out I had to go for a backup mammogram because the technician did not squish hard enough, and they needed to get better pictures. And I was a nervous wreck, but they were able to give me a follow-up mammogram. I begged and pleaded, and I got one for the next day, but still, and I got an ultrasound, and I found out right away that everything was okay. I was a nervous wreck that time. That was like 7 years ago or something. And this time, I finally get them, and he said, well, I can't tell you what's going on. You'll need to talk to your doctor, but we need to schedule a follow-up diagnostic mammogram for your right breast. And I'm like, and he said, and I don't have anything till February. And I'm like, February? And then it turned out, wait. He was a really nice guy. He said, okay, I found you something for Thursday. I have to go Thursday morning at 6:45 a.m. across town. So I've got to leave my house before 6 in the morning to get there. And isn't that fun? And for something so fun. And anyway, and now I don't know what it is. I'm a nervous wreck. He said, your doctor can tell you what's on the report. So now I put a call out to my doctor, and he's not in the office on Friday. And I say, please ask him to call me because, I tell her why. And I don't get a call back, and like an hour goes by, 2 hours go by, and I call back and I said, please ask him to call me. I know he's not in the office, but please, I'm so anxious. So my wonderful doctor calls me, Dr. Mandel calls me like 5 minutes later, and he said, there is nothing to worry about here. They list you as a 0, on the scale of 1 to 5 stages, 1 to 4 rather, I was a 0. And he said, and it says right here, benign old calcification of the right breast. that they want to get another image of, because I made the mistake of not asking for a diagnostic mammogram when I took my prescription. I asked for the ultrasound so that I wouldn't have to go through the extra visit, but I forgot to ask for diagnostic. So they do this new thing with AI, and you pay an extra $40, and the AI talks to the technician who they go back and forth, and the two of them decided that they should get another look. But he said, it's bogus. He said, what happens is, now that it's RadNet, they call back at least one, they call back about 1 in every 3 women, and it's all a political thing and a money thing. Jesus, to keep, I don't know, whatever. And he can't, I mean, I literally did not get out of the bathroom for the 3 hours until I found out what it was. I was a nervous wreck. And once I spoke to him, I calmed down. I believe he said, I'm telling you, this is nothing to worry about, absolutely nothing. They say you're a 0. They say it's benign. So I calmed down. Meanwhile, today I actually saw the report. There is a 0 there. It does say they want to look at calcification. It does say that there is no alert for the patient, but I didn't see the word benign. He said he saw the word benign. I didn't see benign. He said he saw the word benign, but they said there is no malignancy. Oh God, there is no evidence of malignancy, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, just kind of terrifying. Okay, so that was the start of the weekend. And I used to go to a place in New York where they gave you the results right away. You waited for hours to see the doctor, but finally you left knowing what was what. And you'd sit there with all the other women. Everyone's a nervous wreck, sweating and freaking out. Then this place, when I used to get when I started getting an ultrasound with my mammogram, the ultrasound technician would say, no, everything is fine, you're good. Then they stopped doing that a few years ago, and then it became the waiting game again. Well, I just want to say to all you women out there, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. And I am not going to ever go back there. I am going to go to this place in Beverly Hills where you sit there, they do the test. If you need anything, they do the next step. You don't leave till you know where you stand. And that's what I want. So I'm going to when I leave from this appointment, I say, I want my records. I want my records back, just like I told my ex-husband. And I'm taking them with me, or I'm going to have them send it to me, because I'm not going to go through this ever again. No, poo-poo, no more with the waiting game and being scared and not knowing. The not knowing is, the waiting is the hardest part, right? And then waiting for another appointment, it's craziness, So that's how the weekend started. And then Saturday, Samantha was coming over to have dinner with Snuffy and I and to play some games. And she got here, and we were going to order, Snuffy had already ordered Din Tai Fung for us to have for dinner. Fabulous, we love it. And the food came just a few minutes after Samantha did, and we sat down to eat, and Snuffy picks up his shirt. He had just taken a shower, and he looks down, and he's all like this horrible rash, this red rash around his waist. And then he said, oh, over here. And we pick it up, and he's got this horrible red rash on the back of his shoulder. And just a really nasty, really, really nasty rash. And Samantha said, oh, remember when I had that rash, and they didn't know what it was, and thought it was an allergy, and it was really awful, and it was driving me crazy. And the dermatologist said that it was probably a virus, because they couldn't, but by the way it resolved or whatever, they determined that Samantha's was a virus. And we were trying to think of what Snuffy could be allergic to, because he's not allergic to anything. And going through in our head, like, what could be happening? Why would this be happening? And couldn't really come up with anything other than, well, yeah, he's on an antibiotic, but he's been on antibiotics so many times before. Wait a minute, the gardener used some, this is bothering me, the gardener used some fertilizer. I saw him sprinkling stuff. Oh, now the lopsided hair is going to drive me crazy, because it's higher on the other side. And so the gardener sprinkled some green stuff. I saw him on Wednesday, and I thought, well, Could it be, you know, is it possible that Rufus got into the green things and, you know, when he was out there, and then Snuffy was like rubbing his head and, you know, doing all of that stuff? Is it possible that it was that? And I don't think it's shingles, Pia, because it's everywhere. And I don't think shingles presents that way. I don't know. I will have to ask his doctor. I do not believe, I don't think, I don't know. I will ask. Well, I'll continue. So anyway, I gave Snuffy an Allegra. I spoke to his doctor, gave Snuffy an Allegra, and it was still really bothering him, so he ordered some Benadryl. His doctor said, I had already given him the Allegra before we talked to the doctor, and he said, get Benadryl. Benadryl is better for that stuff. So Snuffy ordered liquid Benadryl, cherry Benadryl from CVS. They delivered it with some Benadryl extra strength cortisone cream, which I put on him. And then his doctor said he could have another dose of Benadryl at 12:30 at night. So we did that and we went to sleep. And I woke up just before 6 a.m. on Sunday morning to crash, bang, boom. And no, we didn't change detergent. And it was pitch black, turn on the light. Snuffy had been trying to get to the Benadryl at 6 a.m. because he was in so much discomfort. And it's a really tight squeeze between the fireplace and Rufus's bed, and we have a rocking chair and a little table with his DBS equipment, and boom, he had fallen, and everything had fallen on top of him. So now we go into the bathroom, and he's got, you know, and he doesn't care about the fall. He like the chair fell right on his finger. He doesn't care about anything. All he cares about is stopping the itch. He wants Benadryl. Okay, so I go to get the cup from the kitchen for the Benadryl, and by the time I come out, oh yeah, I had poured a little bit into the cup. And I turn around to do something, and I turn back around, and Snuffy has drank the bottle of Benadryl, all but this much in the bottom, and he had already done this much at the top. Now, it was a small bottle, but still, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. He was so miserable, and now he's covered in hives everywhere, and welts, and big raised welts, and I'm like, oh my God. So it was just the most horrible thing I've ever seen. And he was miserable. And so we come inside, and I'm trying to contact his doctor, and it's a concierge doctor. You can reach him 24/7. He's not responding. It's only like 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Snuffy's just miserable. He's miserable. You know, we put so much of that cortisone cream on him that brand new tube of cortisone cream is now like half gone. You're not supposed to use it like that. And no, not allergic to Benadryl. And it was just like one thing after another. It was just horrible. And now he's had all this Benadryl, and I'm like, okay, what do I do about this? Is this this has to be dangerous. This can't be good. So I'm giving him a ton of water to flush it out. Now I asked ChatGPT what to do, and he said, don't bother giving him a lot of water you can't flush it out. And I'm like, what? Call the poison hotline. I'm like, Snuffy doesn't want me to. But all of a sudden he starts talking about the sauce that I'm cooking in the kitchen, and I think, all right, that's it. I call 911. No, first I call poison control. She said, yep, call 911. Call 911. The EMTs are here within 5-10 minutes. Now poor Rufus is like, oh my God, shaking. Rufus is, you know, very anxious around other strange people anyway, and Rufus is shaking, and they're like putting leads on his dad, and so it turns out all of Snuffy's vitals are fine. There is no indication that it is anything from anything, that the Benadryl has caused him distress in any way. They said, but we've got to take him to the hospital. And I said, oh no, where are you going to take him? And they're like, well, we could go to Tarzana, Sherman Oaks, and I was like, no. Allie Willis was taken there by emergency, and no. And they said, it's not that kind of thing. That's not going to happen. They said, where do you want to go? I said, St. John's. No, St. John's is too far. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, so they take him to Tarzana. They said, you can come with us. I said, that's okay. I have to take care of the dog and I want to drive my own car so I can get us home. So they take him and I sit down with Rufus and I try to explain to Rufus that Daddy is okay and everything is okay and I'm just going to go to be with Snuffy and then I'm going to come back in a little while and we're all going to be together and everything is fine and not to worry. And Rufus is like shaking and freaking out. Now I've calmed him down. He's following me around. I'm grabbing stuff like phone chargers and a jacket for Snuffy and, you know, all kinds of things that I thought he might need if he had, God forbid, had to stay. And I put Rufus's food out and it's way earlier than he would normally eat and he won't touch it. And when Rufus is stressed, he won't eat and he won't drink. And in fact, if we leave Rufus a ton of water whenever we go anywhere and we come back and he will not touch it. And the second we walk in the house, he drinks like all the water. And usually we feed him and stay. And I fed him and I was going to stay till he ate. He would not eat because he knew I was leaving. And I put on the Wildlife Channel and that is the saving grace. Rufus immediately calmed down. He went over to watch TV. He loves watching animals. And there was a weird, I forgot what they're called, with the heart, like a big, like not a snail, a bigger than a snail, but a porcupine, no, some weird animal was on there and he just got completely taken with it, sat down calmly and was watching TV. I slipped out, went to Snuffy. He was just getting admitted into a room in emergency. They said, you know, his vitals were fine. We were waiting for the doctor. Meanwhile, Snuffy is like off the rails. So it turns out Benadryl, when you have too much Benadryl anyway can make you excitable and anxious. Well, do that times 20. Snuffy was like trying to pull the leads out and I want to go home, I want to get out of here. What, make them stop the itching, and they don't give him anything topical. The doctor finally comes in, you know, asks some questions. He didn't even examine Snuffy. It was like the most bizarre thing. Now that I think about it, he didn't even examine him. And he said, I mean, there were plenty present on, was he wearing short sleeves? I guess he was wearing a hospital gown on top. No. Maybe. I can't remember, but he didn't examine him that I know about. And, oh, somebody's coming. Somebody's coming. Rufus, hurry up. Hurry up. Come, I'm going to get you something. I'm going to get you a prize. Oh, I'm going to get you something you haven't had in a long time. Look what I'm going to get for you. Come on. Oh, you haven't had this in so long, Rufus. This is like the potato chip. The chicken of potato chips. The potato chips of chicken. Okay, sit right here. Sit right here. Sit right here. Okay. Gentle. Good boy. Oh, you like that chicken. Rufus is eating crunchy. It's like potato chip chicken. It's all natural, all chicken, no fillers, but they like freeze dry it. He loves this. We haven't given him this in a long time.
No, we haven't.
Okay, there he goes. Somebody just asked if we think it's shingles, you know, and would you ask Shamsi if it's possible if it's shingles?
Yeah, I will.
Ask him. I mean, I don't think shingles is, well, no, but also shingles wouldn't be all over your body. I don't think. I mean, I know people that have had shingles and usually it's really painful and it's in one area, huh?
Very serious.
Usually, but do me a favor, just ask Shamsi, because, oh, good boy. Okay, can't hurt.
Do you still?
Okay. Huh?
You break it up?
I'm not up to that yet.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm not up to that part of the story yet. Rufus, sit. You want to stay and be on TV for a while? You want to be on internet TV with everybody?
Yeah.
Everybody's so happy to see you. You're getting, hey, I don't see hearts going up for Rufus, you guys. There they go. He wants more. All right, I'm going to give you a little more because you've been a very good boy. You've been a very good boy. You've had to put up with a lot, haven't you? I'm always afraid this is gonna cut his throat because he doesn't chew, he just swallows food. And this is very sharp. Don't cut yourself. Okay, you're a good boy. I love when he crunches. Isn't that cute when he crunches? You're a cute cruncher. So, and you're getting a lot of love, Rufus. You're getting a lot of love. So, okay, so they finally, Rufus is there any chicken under there? There's no chicken under there. Okay, so anyway, they finally, so the doctor thinks it could be an allergy to the antibiotic, which it turns out is Bactrim, which has sulfur. And he doesn't give us very much information, but it turns out that sulfur allergies are very common and very intense. And I said, but wait, he's been taking that antibiotic for 9 days. Is it possible for there to be that, water drinking, is it possible for there to be that kind of delay? And he's like very vague. And then I said, well, wait a minute. I find out from the gardener which fertilizer he used, and I asked ChatGPT, hi Andrew, hi Patricia, I asked ChatGPT, can it take this long for an allergy to the antibiotic? Yes, it can. Can he get, even though it's a natural fertilizer, is it possible for him to get an allergic reaction from this fertilizer that would break out in hives everywhere? Yes, it is. So now, don't know. What is it? And the doctor's really not trying to figure it out. They just want to get Snuffy out of there. And he's not very concerned about the fact that Snuffy had all that Benadryl. And obviously, by now, it's like, it was 11 o'clock in the morning now. So Snuffy had drank that shit at like 6 a.m. It's now 11, and already it's clearly not in his system anymore because he's itching like crazy. He's agitated, very loud drinking. He's itching so much, and he's had a shit ton of water. And he's got a pretty strong constitution anyway. And wait, let me read what you guys were saying while I was out there. We went to Tarzana, emergency. Any relief? Well, I'll tell you what's going on with Snuffy now. Hi, Barbara. Yeah. So anyway, so if they finally give him, the doctor gives him an intravenous steroid. And Snuffy's going, tell him to give me that thing already. Where's the doctor? Where's the doctor? And he's like trying to pull the shit out. And they finally give him the intravenous steroid. And he said, oh, it should be working in about 10 minutes. Lie. It wasn't working after 10 minutes. It wasn't working after an hour. Finally, at 2 hours, when it still really wasn't working, he said, well, it could take 2-3 hours for it to work. I mean, it was like, what? They put no topical on him. You're in an emergency room and it's Tarzana, and they're not like putting cool compresses on him. They're not, they're just doing the minimum. And I still can't reach Snuffy's doctor. And I'm like, oh. So they finally they're gonna dismiss him. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. We don't know what it is. He's still uncomfortable. You're sending him home. And Snuffy's like, yes, get me out of here. And meanwhile, Snuffy's boys couldn't come to assist, but one of Snuffy's guys came, Mike Bowen, a wonderful friend, came and brought Snuffy a change of clothes and stayed with him so that I could get the car and go get the meds. And so when we're leaving, the doctor said, okay, I'm going to give him a Zyrtec. Get him off. Don't give him Benadryl. He's had so much Benadryl. No more Benadryl. And the Zyrtec works better. Just give him one Zyrtec. One Zyrtec a day is going to take care of it. Yeah, give him one Zyrtec. And what else did he say to do? And the steroid cream, is okay. I said, can you give me a prescription strength? No, the stuff over the counter is fine. It's just going to be basically the same thing. Thank you, Andrew. And somebody else gave stars somewhere that I missed. I'm sorry, who did I miss? I see there's an odd number there. I see Esther's. Okay, well, I don't know. I think I missed a 50 somewhere, and I'm sorry. I don't see it anywhere. What's that? Anyway, so we leave. He said, give him, I've given him a Zyrtec, I've given him, and then I'm gonna give him a, oh, thank you, Jim. I'm gonna thank you anyway. I appreciate you looking. I'm gonna give him that prednisone pack. You know, I think it's, I don't know, 7 days or something, and you go first day 9 pills. That, you know, and you go down how many pills you take. And he said, and they show me, and they've sent it to a pharmacy there, and I'm like, no, I need you to send it to the pharmacy in Encino. I give him the address. Okay, we'll resend it. I go to that pharmacy. No, they sent it to a different one. Anyway, and the pharmacy was closed for lunch, and I'm standing in line, and now I'm trying to find oatmeal bath, and I'm trying to find oatmeal lotion, and all of this stuff to try to give him some relief. Aloe, you know, aloe is a good thing, and I did have some aloe, did not put aloe on him, but thank you for this suggestion, because aloe is something we can add to our regime of things we use moving forward. I think aloe does give an instant relief. I don't know that it lasts long term, but aloe is good, and I have a big jar of aloe gel. It's old, I don't know if it's gonna work, but we'll see. Ratty says 100% Bactrim. Okay, not shingles. Okay, I finally get a hold of his doctor. He has slept in, which is very unusual for him. And he says instantly, it's a sulfur allergy. It's from his antibiotic. And he said, okay, both the pharmacist and his doctor say he can have a dose of Benadryl before he goes to sleep if he's in discomfort. No shit, was he going to be in discomfort? And Shamsi also says give him 2 Pepcid. Who knew that? Oh, really? That's horrible. And who knew that Pepcid is also a antihistamine? They're antihistamine, and so give him 2 Pepcid. In the morning, 2 Pepcid at night. Give him more Benadryl before he goes to sleep tonight. He's allowed to have a Zyrtec in the morning and a Benadryl at night if he needs it. And I got all this oatmeal. I showed the pharmacist this Gold Bond colloidal, 2% colloidal oatmeal lotion. He said, yes, that will help. That will be good to calm things down. I bought this Aveeno oatmeal body wash, so he won't have to use soap, which can be irritating, even though we have Dove with no fragrance and no nothing. They didn't have oatmeal bath. We have a great bathtub. We've used it once. Great bathtub. Snuffy isn't going to take a bath. He doesn't want the oatmeal bath, so didn't do that. Although the way he's looking, I kind of would like him to have the oatmeal bath ASAP and get in and sit in it, because I think it'll feel great. Okay, so as the course of the day is going on, and he's had the, yes, Benadryl is an antihistamine, and he's had the, well, I don't know if 2 Pepcid is going to help for your crazy rashes. It might help, but not as much as, you're better off with Benadryl or a Zyrtec, Carol, or an Allegra, or whatever works for you. But you can supplement it with Pepcid. Also, you can take Pepcid, and Snuffy's like an iron man, so he can take 2 in the morning, 2 at night. That would be a lot for me. I think that starts to upset my stomach. But I can take 1 in the morning and 1 at night. My retention is amazing. This is how I wrote a book, Tim, because I remembered everything in this minute detail that happened to me 50 years ago. I remembered conversations that I literally had when I was 19 years old. Yes, I am a good advocate, Tim, you're right. I drove them crazy, but I am a good advocate. So anyway, so it starts to get worse, and it's moving down his legs. But the welts, the big swollen bubble, like water bubble welts, are gone. And now it's a flat red rash. Flat red welts, but it's growing. It's in different places. Now the old stuff is looking, Zuafrex cream helps for external range. Okay, I don't know what that is, and I don't know what it's made from, but I'll check it out. Anyway, so he doesn't look good. So we put the oatmeal all over, and he takes a Benadryl, and he takes 2 Pepsid, and we go to sleep. And that was at 11 something last night. Snuffy slept till 10:45 this morning. And I thought that was the greatest testament to him feeling better. So no, the Pepsid isn't for his stomach. It's a histamine. It's for his, it helps with the rash. That's why he's having him take it. He already takes a PPI for reflux. So it's not for that. He's having him take it because it's a histamine. So in any case, so he gets up, and the rash, the rash where it had started and everything, all of that is definitely getting better. But he has new stuff again on the back of his legs, and some raised, like new. And his son Will was saying he has a sulfur allergy, and he was saying, you know, the antibiotic stays in your system for 3 days after you stop taking it. So even though Snuffy stopped taking the antibiotic on Saturday night, it's still going to work in his system for a few more days. So new things can happen, I guess. So, okay. And I'm like itchy, and I'm like washing my hands after everything. I'm starting to wear gloves when I'm putting the cream on him, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, there's no way moving my towel away from his towel, but I'm like, we sleep in the same bed, you know, and right before he got the rash, you know, we kissed and all, you know, hugged, all this stuff. There's just no way that if it's anything contagious, I'm not going to get it. There's, you know, poo-poo. And so, of course, I'm starting to have sympathy itchy, and I'm like, oh, fuck, no. And so I'm itchy right now saying it, and I'll tell you why. I'm looking at myself. So how does my face look? No. So, okay, so as the course of the day goes on, okay, he takes his prednisone, he takes his Pepsid, but he goes in the shower about an hour and a half ago, and he gets out, and he is really red. And the stuff on the back of his legs is angry, and his back in all new places is angry. And I take pictures and I send them to, I left out one part yesterday after his shower. Before I put the oatmeal stuff on him, he had some peeling skin. Well, it turns out like that's the worst thing that can happen. I've been using a prescription I had from Doctor for a Bite. It has helped with itch and any swelling. It's a cream. Okay, that's good to know. I actually realized that I have this cream that that Gabe gave me a long time ago after he had surgery that like heals anything. And I wonder if putting a little of that on a test spot might be worthy to see if it helps. Although Dr. Shamsi was telling me that we have prednisone packets that he gave us for a trip in case, you know, as a COVID prevention kit that we traveled with in Europe. And they're from 2023. And I thought, okay, expired, you know, I keep expired everything. And Samantha just found Benadryl in the cabinet that expired in 2013. This is not good. So he said, though, that the prednisone from 2023 is fine. Is anybody interested in all this? Tell him. This is interesting, right? It's interesting. Everybody cares because we compare. We compare, you know, when we tell each other what we go through, my back is itchy, then we understand. Who just sent me 45 stars? Thank you, Andrew. I am, but it's happening to me. Well, anybody that isn't interested, Snuffy, can just leave. That's the beauty of internet TV. You can just get off. Yeah, now I'm itching on my back. So, see, yes, Dot's interested. Carol's interested. People are interested because what we're doing might help somebody one day figure out what's going on with them. Like what's going on with me right now, that my back is. So anyway, he had this peeling skin yesterday. Right before, right after the shower. And Dr. Shem said, okay, that's something you don't fool around with. ChatGPT said, no, that's really serious because it could be this condition and you don't fuck around with that. They care about you, Snuffy, see? And if that happens anymore, I had noticed it earlier in the day, but once he got out of the shower and I put the oatmeal thing on, there was none of that. But he said, if that happens tonight, any break in the skin, got to go right back to the ER. And I was like, oh shit. So I'm watching Snuffy to make sure there's no broken skin or whatever. And in fact, Snuffy, you didn't let me put the oatmeal all over you. And we got to do that to make sure that the skin doesn't break. We're going to do that after my show. So in any case, so today, his rash is still kind of raging. Sent the pictures to Shamsi and he said, okay, this is not something to go to the ER for, this is, just continue doing what you're doing. Okay. So I get in the shower, I get out of the shower and look in the mirror and I have a rash here on my back, on my legs. It's not like Snuffy's, but it's my back kinda looks the way his looked when his started. And I'm like, oh my God, well, maybe Samantha was right. Maybe this is a virus. And I send the pictures to Dr. Shamsi and he's like, did you try any new shampoo? But no, this is not a coincidence that I'm getting this right when Snuffy does. No, that I'm allergic to something new. No. And, I said, should I start taking a prednisone pack he's like, no. And now by the time I finished putting my makeup, the reason why I was so late today, so-ish, is because I was kind of freaking out and had Snuffy put oatmeal on me. And I'm like, looking every 2 minutes and taking some pictures. And anyway, by the time I was and I'm itching now, right? By the time, and I've been itchy the last couple of days, but by the time I had put my makeup on and was getting dressed, it had calmed. And I don't know if we can see. Yeah, I don't know if there's any rash going on there. I don't know. I can feel my back is itchy. My front feels okay right now. My back is itchy, but again, I don't know. Is that power of suggestion? Have I freaked myself out? I was definitely rashy. But sometimes when you get out of the shower from the hot water, I take very hot showers, and that can make you red and stuff. And I think maybe that's why Snuffy was so agitated when he got out of the shower. Maybe, it said, Snuffy, not to take hot showers, to take cool. And that's probably that's probably what it is. The hot water probably aggravated your thing. You got to take cooler showers from this. And I don't know what's going on with me. Maybe my skin was just red and aggravated from all the hot water, although I take hot showers every day. And right now my back is really itchy. But we're going to assume that I'm going to be fine. But Shamsi's saying, oh, did you try something new? No, I can't be having a horrible allergic reaction at the exact same time as Snuffy to something completely different. That's crazy. Yeah. So anyway, this is our saga and story. So Thanksgiving is next week. We were supposed to have 12 people. We're now down to 9. Very reasonable. 9 people fit very comfortably at our table. And Marta wasn't going to come. Dumb question, but did you know we haven't changed laundry detergent? Same detergent. I know that. And I do Allegra every day anyway. And no. But no, I haven't changed any products. That would affect us both. And Snuffy's not really sensitive to chemicals or anything like that. I still think there is an outside possibility that it's the fertilizer that got on Rufus. But if it was the fertilizer and it got on Rufus, I would think it would bother Rufus. And Rufus has been in great spirits. And that was another thing I wanted to tell you guys. Until this trauma yesterday, Rufus was back to himself. And we haven't seen Rufus like this in months since he had that first problem with the whatever it was, and you know they had to do the punch biopsy and all that shit, and he was on antibiotics, and it all messed with him. I read the older you get, not to take too many hot showers. Yeah, I take really hot showers. It's an emotional reaction because you love Snuffy that much. It could be part of it. Certainly could be that. In any case, Rufus was back to himself for like the last 5 days until yesterday. And now that that thing happened yesterday, Rufus has gone back to kind of being, you know, yeah. So hopefully I got to get Rufus back to being Rufus. But in any case, so we're having these people over for Thanksgiving. And I said in my workshop, I do the Women Who Write Writers workshop I never put it up on the Women Who Write group page or on Facebook, and I really have to start doing that. I mean, we are a core group of 7 people, and we're very closely knit, and we've worked together for years. But it would be nice to get some, infuse some new blood in there too, people who would benefit from it, because it's really fabulous and it's amazing. It's kind of a support group / writers group, because we do a writing prompt and we talk about what's new. We start by talking about what's going on in our lives before we do anything. And then we do a writing prompt. Oh, thank you for the stars. Thank you, Andrew. And then we get to our work. But in any case, I was saying I really want to take the prompt this month on the Women Who Write group page is I love myself, therefore. So every day for 30 days, we write I love myself, therefore. And I find that whatever the prompt is, I'm grateful for, I'm changing my blank, that whatever the prompt is, I find I really do put energy into that when I'm writing about it every day for 30 days. And so today is the 17th of November. So for 16 days, I haven't written today yet. Oh, I did this morning. I've been writing. I love myself, therefore. And the thing that I love myself, therefore, that I did today was one of the things I said was, I want to take the stress out of the holiday for myself and make it as easy on myself as possible. Because I'm a stressed cook. When I have 15 things that I'm going to put out to serve, and I want them all to come out at the same time, that's like crazy making. So it's really hard to stand around and kind of schmooze and enjoy with everybody else. I'm like running and doing. And, my kids hate when I cook because I, get stressed. They love to eat it. They hate when I get stressed. Thank you so much for the stars. So I saw that I've been bombarded by this boardery company. I think it's called Boardery, where they have these charcuterie boards, because I happened to mention a charcuterie board 2 weeks ago, because when Snuffy has a meeting here, Mike Bowen, who works at Erewhon, brings a beautiful charcuterie board every time we have it up here. And they're just fabulous. In fact, we still have a few remnants of the one from a week ago Thursday. And I thought, well, that's a great thing to serve for Thanksgiving. And rather than make my own, and then I've got to buy this, and then I got to buy this, and and then you got to put it all together and make it look pretty. And I do that every year. I kind of, I'm itchy. But Marta's going to be here, and Marta makes the best guacamole, so I know I have that. But I thought I'd really like to have a charcuterie board, and I could make one. And then I got bombarded by this company, Boardery, sending me these charcuterie boards that are pre-done, and they deliver them like the day before Thanksgiving. They said, we sell out every year. And it comes, you get the salami, you get the cheese, you get the nuts, you get the chocolate, you get the crackers, you get the dried fruit, you get all these things, the olives, and they come in things, and then you just unwrap. They're in cold packs and with a wooden board, and you unwrap each package and you place them in the thing, and then you have a charcuterie board. And I'm like, okay, now I don't have to. You want me to spell that orally for you? I can write it for you. No, I'm not going to spell it. Somebody spell charcuterie. Tony's not here. Somebody spell charcuterie board for Dot. So anyway, I've been thinking about ordering it, and then they have different sizes, and I'm thinking, well, do we get the small one? Vicki, maybe you should see a dermatologist. Yes, we should both see a dermatologist. Well, he should Snuffy absolutely, I forgot to get an appointment for him today, but Snuffy absolutely has to see a dermatologist because she will know more than anybody about what this is. Well, it's still going to be guesswork. There's no hard, fast thing. So, but yes, he's got to see a dermatologist. I'm going to make that appointment tomorrow. He can probably get an emergency appointment and get in there tomorrow, actually, maybe. So, anyway, I've been toying with the idea of ordering the charcuterie board. Then at the same time, I was talking about pumpkin pie. You know, whenever you say anything, all of a sudden it shows up on your phone, right? And the ads on your Meta, on your Instagram. So all of a sudden, these pies from this place in New York called Milk Bar that I've heard about starts showing up on my Instagram. And the best pumpkin pie ever. We sell out every year. And then they also have this Milk Bar pie, which is like this chewy caramel brown sugar thing. I don't know. And get these for Thanksgiving and blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking at them. We always get the $5.99 pumpkin pie from Costco, and it's the best, and everybody loves it. And then, you know, maybe we get a pecan pie from them. We get ice cream, and that's usually the deal on Thanksgiving. But I thought, oh, it'd be nice to have these really nice pies for Thanksgiving. So I ordered the Milk Bar pumpkin pie and the Milk Bar chewy. And then I thought, am I going to get the charcuterie board? Well, today, and then, you know, I always make the turkey and the stuffing, and, you know, I cook, you know, Italian sausage first and cook the mushrooms, and then, you know, till I make the stuffing, and then I stuff the turkey, and now I have to make a lattice of the bacon, and then I have to get that on there. And we've had trouble with this oven. I've had trouble with this oven. The first year the turkey was cooked very erratically, like, it's all the thermometers said it should have been done, and it wasn't done, and it was not a good turkey. I think that was the year that I decided to do my own brining, and it was like so salty. They told me to leave the salt on. No, you don't leave it. It was a disaster. So the skin, which is my favorite part, I didn't bake in it that year, was so salty. It was horrible. But the turkey underneath ended up being, but it was not a good turkey Thanksgiving. And then the next year I went back to my bacon thing, and it came out good, but still timing-wise, then Snuffy got me that great thermometer, you know, the meter, and it's still not 100% that meter, but it was pretty good. And the turkey last year was good. Was it my best turkey I've ever made? No. In this oven, I have not made my best turkey. I made perfect turkey all of my life for 40 years until we moved into this house. There's something with this oven that just doesn't, I don't know, just having trouble getting it right. I will eventually get over that. Anyway, so I'm talking about that, and all of a sudden pops up on my Instagram today, this morning, Adam Perry Lang, who is this famous barbecuer in LA, and he does these pop-ups. And so he did a pop-up in Sherman Oaks about 2 years ago. I found out about him from Phil Rosenthal, foodie, somebody feed Phil. And he recommended Adam Perry Lang, and I started following Adam on Instagram, and his stuff looked incredible. His beef ribs, his pork ribs, his everything just looked amazing. And one day, Snuffy and I, he was in Sherman Oaks at a pop-up. We went, we got online for an hour and a half. We got the barbecue. It was fantastic. Got to meet Adam. He followed me back on Instagram. We've liked and loved each other's stuff and all of that. Anyway, he's been in Venice at some bar or something outside. He puts his big cookers in the parking lot, and people stand online week after week, year after year, and we haven't gone back. It's very fattening food. Not that we don't eat other fattening food, but we just haven't gone back for the whole thing. But anyway, it pops up on my Instagram, him cooking this turkey. So it's a smoked, it's a cherry wood smoked brown sugar something turkey that looks the juiciest, with juices running. And then the way he carves it, he chops this, he chops this, he chops this, he does the white meat, he puts it all back. I mean, it looked so gorgeous, a huge turkey. So it turns out, he says, pre-order only, pick up 9 to 11 a.m. Thanksgiving morning. And I'm like, it wasn't this morning, it was this afternoon I saw it. It was like at 2 o'clock, right after the workshop where I said, I want to make things easy on myself. Should I order the charcuterie board or should I make my own? And I already got the pies, and here this turkey shows up right when I said it. It was like God's doing for me what I can't do for myself. And I'm like, Snuffy, what do you think of this? It's a fortune, right? It's 22 to 24 pounds. It's huge. And he said, if you're not having that many people, you'll have a lot of leftovers. We love leftovers. I always send everybody home with some turkey when they leave, enough to have a late night snack. The kids, even more than that, enough to have like a full meal at least or two. And I'm like, but what do I do about the stuffing? But then I wouldn't have to cook the turkey, and I wouldn't have to do the lettuce, and I wouldn't have to do, oh my God. And Snuffy said, order it, just do it. And after what we went through yesterday with the ambulance and the hospital and and now with the welts, and I'm like, I just want it to be easy this year. It's just been, and Snuffy's 3 surgeries and what's going on with me. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot. And I'm 70. No, I still like cooking, and I'm going to be doing Christmas bigger than I thought, because usually Samantha and Tristan go down to Florida to be with his parents, and last year Harry went too, so it was just us and Will and Connor and Lauren Gold came, and it was just us. We had a small Christmas, and I will cook gumbo. I can't remember what I cooked. I think I cooked chili last year, and I didn't like the way the chili came in. It's like I've never made a bad batch of chili. This house has been a bad luck cooking house for me for some reason. My sauce has not come out the way, oh yeah, my chicken parm has come out perfectly here. That's the only thing I've made perfectly in this house. I believe that has come out right. I believe. I'm not going to swear to it. Has my sauce come out right? And Snuffy just got me these hex-clad pots to make my sauce. Anyway, I'm going to make chicken parm and sauce for Christmas. So I'm going to be cooking for Christmas and Hanukkah with the latkes and everything. Anyway, ordered the turkey. Made the commitment, ordered the turkey. So now I have to make stuffing outside the turkey, which ever since I've been with Snuffy, I always make some because he likes it crunchy on the top. And so the stuff that's from the inside the turkey is, mushy. I like the mushy stuff. In any case, but I'm thinking, okay, if I can get the turkey drippings from Adam with the turkey, plus I can get buy some chicken fat. If I can buy some turkey fat from the butcher, maybe I can. I'm going to ask him in advance. And then put some of that in the stuffing to give it that flavor, so it'll still taste like bird, even though it wasn't made in one. Chicken broth won't do it. Turkey broth, it has to be the fat. So anyway, I'm going to cook my stuffing. I'm going to make 2 green things. I'm going to roast Brussels sprouts, crispy Brussels sprouts, and wok broccoli with oil and garlic. That really comes out great. And I'm going to make my stuffing, and Jim makes these incredible, I forgot what those heirloom carrots that are unbelievable. And it's going to be great, and it's going to be easy. I make crescent rolls. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And I won't have to work that hard. And so I'm cheating on Thanksgiving. And that'll be my thing. And also before I go, I've been talking a long time. So Tim Pierce was my guest on Game Changers last week, and very few of you tuned in. I hope more of you will go back and watch the show. He was amazing. It was one of the premier session guitarists of all time, played with everybody, and toured with Rick Springfield for 4 years before that. He's an amazing guitarist. He gave it all up because he has 650,000 followers on YouTube. His YouTube channel turned into this booming business, and then he also has a master class that people like Snuffy take his classes online. Like everybody from beginners to world experts take Tim's class to figure out how did he do this on this song and what blah, blah, blah. Anyway, what did Hendrix do here, blah, blah, blah. And he is like so successful. And I was, I said, I don't have the YouTube algorithm figured out. And he taught me things. You have to put wordage on your thumbnails. So I didn't know how to do that. I asked ChatGPT, explained it to me in 2 minutes. I did it wrong. I did it in red. It's better in white. I didn't make it big enough. I got to work on that. But then, and the titles have to be sensational. Every one of my shows was Tim Pierce on Game Changers with Vicki Abelson. Who the fuck cares about that? It's got to be Tim Pierce changes my life and stuff like that. Well, it didn't really work yet. I gotta go back and do it over all my videos. I have confidence that I'm going to be able to build my channel thanks to what I learned from Tim Pierce. So you learn it now from me too. The chicken soup is the one thing that has never failed, not even in this house. My chicken soup here is as good as ever. That hasn't changed. Thank you for that reminder. My latkes haven't changed. They're as good here as ever. So yeah, I can cook in this house. I'm breaking the curse. Anyway, I've been talking way too long. This Wednesday, Candy Clark, American Graffiti. What was the movie she made with David Bowie? I'm like totally spacing now. Candy Clark is amazing. She is not, and she has a book. She has a book of photographs that she's taken over the years. And we're gonna, a great Christmas present. We're gonna have Candy Clark. She's also a good friend. We ran around for a bunch of times. Before I met Snuffy, Candy and I used to run around and go to movie screenings and have a ball. And we've run into her at like every concert at the Hollywood Bowl we've gone to. Yes, really good advice for YouTube. So I will see you Wednesday at 5 o'clock with Candy Clark. She's so much fun. She's so beautiful. And we'll have a great time. So hopefully, poo-poo, I will still be like this and not have red blotches or anything going on. Oh, thank you, Carol. So I hope everybody has a wonderful night, a wonderful tomorrow, and I will see you Wednesday at 5 p.m. What about that rain? Do you believe this rain? Is it ever going to stop raining? I don't know. Anyway, you're recovering from shingles and flu vaccine. Oh, sorry, Andrew. Hope you feel better. Anyway, everybody take care. I'll see you Wednesday live at 5. Bye-bye.